Yo, it's Arjun here. You're locked into Myles Presents. Make sure you subscribe right here.
I'm too numb. My heart is frozen, frozen. I'm too numb. My heart is frozen, frozen.
Joining me is Arjun.
Yo, what's up?
That's I like the energy right there. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How was India last week?
Sick. It's always sick. India's a big market for me, so I'm always there. But it was great. It was a YouTube fan fest in Mumbai. I had about 8,000 people, so it was a crazy show. It was good.
Jeez, what else did you do when you were in India?
Ate a lot of Indian food. No, I had a couple of meetings, doing a couple of interesting projects out there. So I'm signed to a label in India called T-Series.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of this kind of Bollywood. Are you into Bollywood? You heard of Bollywood?
Yeah, man. Yeah, act like Bollywood's not a small thing, you know?
Yeah, so I do kind of like a lot of this fusion stuff. So Bollywood mixed with English music. So I'm doing a couple of film projects out there as well. So not acting, but more the singing side.
Yeah, well, you said not acting quick time. It sounded a bit like...
I always get that question, are you going to do acting? And I'm not really a big actor, so...
Why not? You look like you could be a good actor, though. Because
What makes you say that?
Because you got the look.
Oh, thank you.
You have the actor look, you got the voice as well.
Thank you very much. Well, I don't know. My acting skills are not great. It takes me like 10 takes every time I shoot a music video to get the right, expression on my face, so it takes me a while.
Did it happen with Frozen as well?
That was easier. All I had to do was act frozen, so that was just pouting, looking frozen. That was it. So,
staying still as well. That's the main thing.
Literally, exactly. So yeah, not much acting required, but it was cool. It was
so
good.
Talking about Frozen, which was last week's track of the week, and
thank you very much.
No worries, man.
Thank you so much.
It's a big track.
Thank you.
And it brings a whole new wave and a whole new audience into listening to your music.
So actually, I kind of was initially an R&B head from day one. So I've always been into R&B music. I grew up listening to the likes of Craig David and Donell Jones and Joe Jodeci, Genuine, all the old school R&B stuff. So I'm a big old school R&B fan. But then I kind of took this turn towards the Asian side of things. I kind of signed a deal in India. I went very, very much towards the fusion sound, but always keeping English at the core. So I've always sung in English myself. I've fused it with Hindi, with Punjabi, with Asian languages. But it's always been R&B music to me. And I feel like the time has come. I've kind of toured a lot for the last 3-4 years. Yeah. And I've built enough of a fan base to try and go back to my R&B roots and try and launch my mainstream career, which is the plan for this year.
Well, I think what's good is for like all your international audiences as well. Obviously, you sing in English, but you do put subtitles on there as well.
Yes, I do. I mean, my label does that, yeah.
Okay, fair. I thought you were editing there, putting the subtitles in.
No, actually, I mean, I don't actually speak Hindi myself properly, so I wouldn't be good at translating.
Yeah, you wouldn't put something wrong and then someone gets at you.
I'll be doing some next random translation. So yeah, no, I mean, it's important for me to I feel like the kind of global audience is important to me. So I've always thought of myself as an international artist. In terms of the sound of music that I create is kind of world music. So along the lines of what someone like Pitbull would do for South American music, or someone like Shakira, that kind of thing. So trying to spread that international love for the Asian music scene.
That's true, and you've got Sway on the track.
Yes.
As well, which is it's like UK.
Sway is a legend to me. He's like OG of the UK hip hop scene. He's like one of the first guys to really make it in the UK urban scene.
Little Derek as well.
Little Derek, exactly. He won a Mercury Award, which is massive. He's won countless Mobos. He's a legend. So. Funny enough, I actually met him through my sound engineer, who was mixing his stuff and mixing my stuff at the same time.
Okay.
He's like, why don't you holler at Sway and get him on this track? I was like, cool, yeah, I'd love to. I'm a fan of him. So we met up, and he's got this amazing energy. He's a very, very kind person, like really nice person. That's, to me, is the most important thing about doing a collab, is you get on really well. So I did a hook for him for one of his tracks, and he did a 16 bar for my track, and it worked out really well. And yeah, he's been great so far. He's really been helping me push it to a different audience, because obviously he's very respected in the urban world. Yeah. And I'm a newcomer in the urban scene, so it's great to have him on board.
So is he kind of like a mentor for you for the future, or just
he's
just
been
for this?
Like that actually. He's definitely been very, very. We've had long chats about music, and he gets the world music thing, because he's actually Ghanaian, and he's very strong in Africa. He's got a very strong fan base in Africa, so he understands the importance of repping your own people, and and trying to make that crossover. So I think he's definitely been a very big influence for sure.
You ever think about jumping on Afro beats then? You ever thought about it? You never know.
I'd love to. Is the wave still happening? I think it still is. It's still popping off, right?
Holler at Fuse.
Fuse would be sick. Yeah, I'd love to do a song with Fuse. I'm doing a show with Fuse actually in April. So I've got a show called the BBC Asian Network Live at the Apollo Hammersmith. Yeah. So he's the headliner. I think he's the second from the top of the bill. So he's massive right now. Asians love him too. I think the Afrobeats thing's crossed over into Asian culture as well. So yeah, maybe when he's there, I'll give him a shout.
You never know.
He wants to do a collab. Yeah.
Slide in DMs, man.
Slide through.
Yeah.
I haven't actually followed him, so I meant to follow him first. Hope he follows me back, and then slide in the DMs. Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure he will. But how have you found the like reception to Frozen already?
It's been great. Obviously, it's very new for my existing fans. It's kind of like a shock for them. They're like, whoa, what is going on here? He's kind of taken the Hindi out of it, and he's gone very mainstream.
Have they grown to that?
I think so. I think UK Asian people have reacted very well. People in Canada, US as well. But obviously India is a little bit of a shock to them. So they're kind of coming around to it. They're definitely, you know, kind of understand what I'm trying to do. And they're very, very loyal. So they're trying to help me promote it, you know. So in terms of the response in the urban world, it's been great, actually. I've had, it's been, for me, the first urban campaign I've done, really, for a long time. So to get people like yourselves, putting it as track of the week is an honor. So it's great. You know, we had some great support from One Extra, Capital Extra as well. So we're kind of growing the urban story now. Are
you gonna think about releasing more, or is it kind of just see how this one kind of
did? It's kind of like a warm-up track, really. So this is kind of the first song. It's an unofficial single, but we have a whole album ready of awesome material. It's kind of this R&B pop with a bit of ethnic influence.
Yeah.
Working with some really cool producers, some really great legends in the game. People like Da Vinci's done a few songs for me.
Jeez.
A guy called Bless Beats who did Tiny Temper stuff. Working with right now LBE, who are London Boy Entertainment, who basically have just done a lot of Zayn Malik's album. So they did Pillow Talk. A guy called Levi Lennox did Pillow Talk. ADP, who's doing Chris Brown's stuff. Alan Sampson, who's got cut on Zayn Malik's album as well. He just did Craig David's new track. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool producers who are working on the project. Up to now, I've kind of done it all myself. I've been kind of writing, producing myself. But I think for this mainstream project, it's good to kind of step back and get some help, because I think, you know, they're in this world, they're living this urban world. So I think for them to kind of bring a fresh perspective into my music is important as well.
Well, it adds a lot, because obviously you can play instruments as well. So kind of adding your flair mixed with whatever someone else might like. Oh, I like that, but if you change up that key in the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I've been missing out a lot by not collaborating more with other producers and writers, because when you're in a room with more people, just the more heads the better. I think in terms of creatively, you're right. I mean, I might think of a chord progression which could be massively improved by changing a few things here and there, but I'm on my own usually. So being with these great producers has really brought out a lot. It's really improved my production too. So when I actually produced Frozen myself, but that was partly because I was working with all these great producers. I went home and I was like, yo, I feel inspired to make it my own track, and that was what happened with Frozen. So yeah.
The real talk, shout out the producers, man. They're working as a team. That people, more people need to do that.
I think it's essential. I think, you know, what I've learned is it's all very well saying you can produce and write and everything, but until you actually work with other better people, you know, you don't really learn and expand yourself. So I think it's important to. I spent a week in Philadelphia working with Timbaland's team, which was crazy. The amount of tips I learned, vocal production techniques, little bits and bobs on, you know, just how to program things well. You know, that was you know, crucial for my learning as an artist as well. So, yeah.
All a learning curve. Now the video.
Yes.
Frozen.
Yeah.
You got some snakes in there? You got some alligators?
Yeah, it went a bit crazy with my director, big up director Ace.
Yeah.
He was a Sri Lankan, like myself. He did a great job. That was mostly his vision, really. I got to give him props for the animal side of things.
Shouts to Ace.
He managed to get hold of like crocodiles. There's a little baby crocodile, which to me was a bit underwhelming. I thought it was going to be some massive crocodile. It turned out to be a little baby, which is the size of the lizard. But yeah, so I think the kind of storyline is basically that I'm out here in this jungle, which is like the world basically, and I'm basically numb to emotion. Like I've been through so much heartbreak, and I'm just fed up of it. I want to just be, you know, in my own zone, and just kind of I'm numb to emotion basically. So the whole point is that I'm trying to avoid these girls who are like predators. Basically they're like snakes and whatever,
tigers and cougars and everything. Yeah.
And so the girls are kind of the animals are like metaphors kind of thing, and it's me trying to just kind of keep my cool and stay frozen.
See, if you're trying to stay frozen, one question I used to ask.
Yeah. What
crocodile? We'll call it with women, basically we're talking about, but what woman could kind of slide in and melt your heart, you know? Because this is for the female fans, you know?
Oh dear. I don't know, man. I mean, no, it's not a true story. I'm not numb to emotion. I'm not frozen. I'm a loving person. I'm ready for love.
Shall I tell you why I'm asking you though?
Why?
Because there's going to be women out there that are going to be wanting to holler at Arjun and want to be that type of person that's going to be like, what does Arjun like? I want to be Arjun's girlfriend. So
okay.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know, man. I have not got one type. I like just nice people.
There you go.
Very boring answer, but I like nice people for sure.
Did you ever slide at people in that MSN back in the day?
MSN, jeez. Did I what? Slide into this?
Just,
that wasn't even a thing then.
It was a nudge. It was a nudge in the MSN.
Yes. Nudge. I did nudge a couple of people, once upon a time. But I kind of, honestly speaking, I don't have a type. I think that, it's about just good energy and getting on well. And I think understanding what I do, because it's difficult, in terms of, my tour schedule was crazy. Last year I took a flight every 2 days.
Mad.
Like literally last year we toured every continent. It was just mental. And having somebody who understands that, I got to do that and still, kind of just understand the hustle and, how hard it really is. It's a lot of, it's a lot of traveling. It's a lot of unglamorous stuff as well as the glamorous stuff, and, just to be there and kind of ride with you through that. So,
but the hard work pays off, and that's the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, touch wood, it's been great. The Asian stuff has gone really well for me. So now the next step is to try and crack this bigger mainstream market and see if we can
You're gonna
break
do
through
it.
there as well.
You're gonna do it.
Thank
so
you, man. Hope so.
You will, man.
Yeah.
Asian music, obviously you talk urban music. You got the two contrasting factors that you're kind of working with at the moment. What do you have more fun making? Because it's, I guess, do you approach things differently when you kind of,
I guess.
tackle
I
a
mean,
track?
I think I know and understand more about the Asian world, having been in it for quite a long time, and I kind of know the formula that's been working for me and that my fans like. But the urban thing, obviously, R&B has been a bit dead, actually, honestly speaking, in the UK for a long time. But this year is a great year for R&B, purely because Craig David has made a comeback, which he's one of my heroes. So he's made a comeback, which is great for the UK urban scene. People like Zayn Malik's album is going to be very R&B. I've heard lots of it. It's very R&B. People like Western, who just killed it with Into
Calm Down, brand new one.
There's a lot of really cool artists from the US like Bryson Tiller, Tory Lanez, August Alsina. There's a lot of really cool R&B acts coming through who are popping off in the UK now as well. So I think it's a good time to do R&B. And I feel like there was a phase where house and EDM took over everything.
It kind of spoiled it,
EDM was everywhere, and even people like Rihanna and Neo and Chris Brown, they're doing songs with Calvin Harris and David Guetta, and it was all this EDM, like everything was just EDM. I felt like that was not really me, and I'm a proper R&B head, so I didn't want to do that EDM thing. So I waited till R&B made a comeback, and now it's back in the mainstream. I think now's a good time to try and drop my album. So this year, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be dropping the whole album. So yeah, we're talking to people now, trying to work out how to release it. So
because you got good crossover when you kind of make more of the Asian tracks. So I was going through your catalogue. There's one. I'm probably gonna get the name wrong, so I'm sorry to everyone. Yeah, but I think it goes Tum Hee Ho.
Yes.
Is that how you say
That's
it?
about as good as I can say it. So
Cool. You know what I mean? If it's as good as Arjun can say it, it's cool.
Yeah.
But that's kind of got like an R&B vibe to it. Most of the stuff that you kind of, when I look at it, when you say Asian urban, I look at it, I'm like, but I hear R&B though. Like I don't see. Obviously, I know it's more inspired. Like you've got more like Asian instruments, and you can tell it's from like a more Asian core. But I can't really see a major difference between like R&B and Asian music.
Yeah, I mean, so that song's a mashup. That song is a mashup of an Indian song and Usher, You Got It Bad. So that's probably why you heard the R&B thing even more. But yeah, at the core of all my music has always been R&B, English R&B. So I've just tried to bring that into an Asian context, and I feel like India is really ready for it. India's English language market is growing very fast. So the big cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, up north, Punjab, like they're all embracing hip hop and R&B, and there's a lot of rappers in India now. There's this new trend of like Desi rap. It's like basically Indian Punjabis like rapping over like Travis Scott style beats, and it's taking off. It's really, really big. I think India is ready for urban music in a big way, and when that takes off, there's 1 billion people there, and that's that's a huge market. So I think you're exactly right. I've always tried to keep R&B in my music, and what I'm doing now is not that different really. It's just a bit. I mean, the only thing I've done is taken Hindi out of the song, but I've retained some of the ethnic influence in the production. So kind of, if you hear in Frozen, there's a little bit of Indian singing at the start. There's a little bit of tabla in there as well. So I kind of try and keep a little bit of my roots in there as well, just to keep it interesting.
A lot of people have actually used kind of like Asian influence in the track. I know there's a Tiny Temper track. He used like an iconic, I can't remember the name of the actual song.
Yes, you're right.
But I can't remember.
Kal Salah.
That's it. Yeah. He uses that in one of his tracks.
Tamil song,
that's been in other stuff as well. So it's not the first time we've seen kind of things cross over, and I'm hoping it's not the last.
Yeah, I mean, Timbaland was the guy who really brought Indian music, like Indian flute back in the day. Timbaland really loves Indian music, and he brought that into the mainstream. There's been loads of songs actually, even recently, like Selena Gomez did a track with a really bait Indian sample in it.
Yeah. Even Pussycat Dolls as well.
Yeah, and even Bieber's album, to me, like it sounds very world. Like there's a lot of the music that he's done. There's like a Diplo and Skrillex stuff, and Major Lazer even more. Major Lazer are properly influenced by Indian music, I think, personally, having heard a lot of the ethnic stuff that they've done. So I think the world is just shrinking now. Everybody's used to hearing different cultures, and it doesn't really jar anymore. Like when you hear a Gangnam Style, or you hear a whatever language it is.
People embrace it more now.
Yeah, you don't even think about it. You just think it's a cool song. You don't even worry about whether you can understand it
That's true.
or not, you know. So
people will mumble something to it, you know. They'll just mumble the rhythm to it.
If it's a vibe, it's a vibe. I think music transcends everything, and language is just one small factor. But I think if it's a cool tune, it's gonna pop off. So I think, yeah, for me, from what I've seen, the Asian fan base really likes the English stuff.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the English fan base likes the Asian stuff too. So once I kind of get a bit more of exposure in the mainstream, I'll definitely try and bring through more of that Asian influence and try and make it more mainstream and more accepted in the UK too. So yeah,
it definitely happened.